Yeah. Hey everybody, this is Echo Boy. Welcome to the channel once more. Let's be honest, you've probably got 10 plugins on a channel and still not getting the sound you want. What if I told you that one plugin can do it all? EQ, compression, character, and actually sound amazing? In this video I'm breaking down two of my favorite channel strips, the Universal Audio API and the Softube British Class A. But first of all, what is a channel strip? A channel strip is a single plugin, software or hardware that combines the essential tools you need to shape up your sound. Typically EQ, compressor, gate, filters. It's modeled after the individual channel of a console, hence the name. So we got API, we got Neves, we got SSL, and lots more. Instead of stacking 3-4 different plugins, you get a cohesive sound shaping your workflow in one unit. Fast, efficient, and even sometimes more musical. So enough with the blabber, let's get into the project. First of all, I've got a track of mine which is called Butterfly. It's out on my label Backic Records along with two more tracks, and this is how it sounds. And for this project, as the majority of my projects, I work with channel strips. And the reason I'm working with channel strips is for what I've just said in the introduction. You combine everything in just one single unit. For this track, I'm using the Universal Audio API channel strip. I love it because it's raw, it has great compressor, great filters, and it's just CPU friendly. I mean, I have it all over my tracks and I get a CPU now with my mastering, and I don't exceed 50% of my M3 Mac Mini. A typical channel strip has these parameters. It has a compressor, it has a low pass and a high pass filter, it has line input gains, it has a full-blown EQ. Sometimes there are a couple of types. Here we got two types in this specific one. We got the 550 and we got the 560. You got your output fader and it just sound amazing. However, if you see on my template default, and if I scroll down to each of my tracks, you will see I got an Ableton channel strip with my go-to channel strip plugins. These are usually the API that I got here. I got a SSL clone, which is this one, the Neve clone, which is this one that we're gonna shoot out today, and it's made by Softube. I love this company, by the way. And two more following by Plugin Alliance. This is the Focusrite and this is the Lindell 50, which actually it's the same like the API. It's the API version made by Lindell. Let me zoom it a little bit so you can see it. It's this one here. All right, you can see that there is a big relevance between the two of them. However, you got two compressors here instead of the classic 225 compressor, the VCA compressor that you get here on the Universal Audio. Here on the Lindell one, you get two compressors, and the way you choose them is simply by clicking here on the compressor side of things, which is here as you see, and right now is on the VCA format. But if you click here and you press FET, then you get a FET compressor, which sounds beautiful. What is the common thing between all these channel strips? At first, it may look intimidating, and every time during my tutorials with my students, whenever I pulled a channel strip and they were like, all right, what the fuck is that? So yeah, they may look different in terms of UI, but they all got similarities, and these are the filters, the compression side, low pass and high pass filters, the faders, of course. So here, for example, in the API one, you got a gate, you got your compressor, you got your filters, you got your input gain, you got a set of EQs, different types, 2 types, and then you got your output fader. All right, same on the Neve one. You got your filters here, you got an equalization unit here, you get a compressor, and you also get a limiter, which is super cool. But last but not least, you get 2 knobs here which says character and drive, and as you can tell, when you push them they saturate and you got like beautiful results. On the other hand, here on the Focusrite one, for example, again you get a compressor and a gate unit, you get your low pass and high pass filters, you get your EQ section, and input and output faders. So you may ask me logically, what's the reason to have different types? Well, the good developers, what they have done is that they tried, to my ears, to a 80%, let's say, simulate the original thing. You're not gonna listen any sort of differences if you just insert a channel strip in a single track. You're gonna hear the differences and what, for example, an API console sounds like if you put them across the whole mix. So if you got like 24 tracks, you have to spread an instance to each one. However, you're not gonna get the same CPU usage because they are very, very friendly. And it's super cool because they combine everything. They combine the EQs, the compressors, and everything. It's so, so cool. At least to me, I've grown with analog consoles. I spent half of my career mixing on desks. I find it very, very intuitive to have a single instance and a unit that combines everything. And I can be very, very quick, have great results, and different characters because the API has a specific sound to it. The Focusrite has a different sound. Same on the Neve one and the SSL, each one has a different sound to it. You get a different character. So for example, for our today's shootout, what I've done is that the original mix comes with the API. So it sounds like this. And I've tried to simulate more or less with the same parameters because it's not exactly the same with the Neve channel strip. As you can see, for example, in my low cut here I got somewhere around 200 Hertz, my low cut, and here there's no 200, it's 160 or 360. So yes, it's gonna sound a little bit different frequentially, but as an overall thing, I think that I have it very, very close. And with the sweet magic of editing, you're gonna hear now how the same drum set, because I have applied that to the drum set, it would take me hours and hours to replicate the same thing within the whole track, but at least for the drum set, you can immediately tell the differences. So check out how the API sounds. And check how the Neve sounds. Immediately you can tell that there are differences, both frequential, both in the compressor side of things. The API sounds rounder, a little bit more raw. The bottom end again is different. However, each one has its own sound. Let's go check them out once again. let's check how, for example, the kick sounds. Let's solo the kick. And this is how with the Neve sounds and the API. There's more depth to the API. The Neve sounds a little bit boxier. But this is not bad, you know? This is just what you're after, because in the Neve one, for example, let's see what these two buttons are doing. When you drive it, oh my god, it sounds so fucking dope. I cannot do that on the API one. API. Oh! Character. This is the drive character. This gives some more character to the drive button here. And if I take it to the left, to the minus, gets more dirty and grittier. You know, if you take to the right side, it's more clean. This is so good. Each one has its own characteristics. So yeah, you know, it comes down to what you're after. If you got like a techno track and you want it to be a little bit more raw, then perhaps API it's your go-to. Maybe you're doing some sort of deep house, whatever, with pads, and you want to make it sound more saturated. Neve is your go-to. If you do it across the whole mix, then you give character to the track, because it's not sterile anymore, you know? And this is what I typically do in all of my tracks and my clients' tracks as well. I got in each one, as you see here, my go-to channel strips, which is the API, the Neve one, the SSL, and the Focusrite, and the Lindell if I want to go with a fat compressor. But as you see here, I got on the front my tapes. I got the Studer and I got the tape from Softube. If you haven't watched already the episode with the tape, then check here about saturation with tapes. So yeah, basically if you want to have some flavors within your tracks and you don't want the classic Ableton, you know, boring compressors or EQs, and you want some salt in your productions, then channel strips are your go-to. You're gonna have different types of musicality, let's say, because each one of those is developed under a specific type of gear. Neve is known for the nice warmth that they get. The APIs are known for their grit and snappy compressors. Check them out and let me know what's your favorite channel strip, if you're working with channel strips, or if you decide after this video to work with channel strips. Let me know your process. As always, subscribe, like, and see you in a bit.